Hello, I'm Brendan Mitchell and welcome to this episode of the CAPS Conversation series. On this episode we have Mr. Ramzi Al Yahaya, a senior legal consultant with global legal knowledge, expertise and experience. He's currently working in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the largest educational organisation in the Kingdom and the Middle East and North African region in general. It's responsible for the teaching and learning materials and professional development programs for teachers and other educational initiatives. Welcome, Ramzi.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Thank you for this very kind and very flattering introduction.
Not kind and flattering, very truthful.
Thank you
I
very
could have
much.
mentioned a huge amount more about your expertise and experience in contracting, and you are predominantly the reason that numerous projects and initiatives have moved smoothly due to your contracting and legal expertise and efficiency.
Yeah, it's always been like a good teamwork within this company, and I'm always glad to work with you because when I work with you, the work is easier, it flows smoother, and you do your bit and more, and so I'm always glad to work with you.
That's because of your ability to transfer skills, not only to people like me, but also some of the nationals where we do work and other nationalities who need it and deserve it. And it's that capacity and capability building that I know that you embed into everything that you do here.
Thank you very much. I think it's just part of what we do. It's not just part of, as you said, just delivering the service or just reviewing a contract. You need to make your input and to make that input clear for others to follow it. You never know. We are moving. Some people you need to train. Someone will come after you, or the people in charge of delivering the project. They need to understand why we drafted certain things in a certain way. They need to be able to understand it, to implement it in the right and proper way.
For sure. But life for you, let's go back to where it all began. Life for you began in Jordan, didn't it?
Yes.
And whereabouts in Jordan? In the capital city, Amman?
No, actually I was born and grew up in a small village up in the northern western corner of Jordan, where we are very close to the Syrian-Palestinian borders. From my house you can see the Golan Heights. You can see there's a mountain in southern Lebanon called Jabal al-Sheikh. You can see it from there. And it's a short distance to leave.
Beautiful, yes?
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's a countryside.
Now, but when you say village, we're not talking a couple of hundred people.
No. You're not talking about dusty roads and like goats and sheep. We have bits of those, but it's like a kind of modern. You have like modern roads, electricity. We had it like ages ago, and everything is like. But there's a main town called Malka, and I come from there, but we don't live in the main town. Just outside, on the outskirts of this town, a small neighborhood. When I was growing up, we used like about 10, 15 houses on a main road, but now it's grown. There are so many people when I go there.
For sure. Yeah. Did you go to school there?
Yeah.
Yep. Primary school,
Primary,
high school.
Yeah, intermediate and high school. I did my education all there. Yeah. General public school, public school, on government-run school, if you like.
You have a native English proficiency and competency. Was that gained from elementary school, or how did that come about?
Thank you for that. I'll take this as a great compliment from you. But to be honest with you, I think it's a combination of so many factors. Like my dad got plus his soul. He used to work in the army, and he has to interact with like what you call it, military officials from different countries, speak English speaking, and his English was good. He has part in just having the basics of English, the pronunciation, the grammar, the vocabulary, and the schools they were okay. Government school in Jordan, they don't have that great reputation of teaching you in English. So my father took care of that, and then, as I've told you before, I used to watch like English movies, soaps, and sitcoms. And I think it's just yeah. And as you know, I did my masters in the UK. Lived there for a bit, so
we'll
that
talk
helped.
About that.
Yeah.
We'll come to that. But going back to you, the general opinion of education in Jordan is that it's a quality education system.
Yeah.
Yep. And and there's lots of Jordanians in professional jobs abroad. Has the education always been of a quality it is recognised, or was it developed over recent decades?
I think, as I said, I think I was shocked when I was living in the UK. I think it was Tony Blair's government kind of thing. He had the slogan "Education, education, education," and King Hussein, our late King Hussein, God bless his soul, he had that slogan like in the 50s: "Education, education,
Okay.
education." So it was the government main concern, and from the old generation, they told us, even for the Bedouins, he used to send a teacher with camels and to follow them around to teach them in the desert to move with them. So there is that's part of it. The government pay because we have limited natural resources. So human beings are stated are the main resource for the country. So we take education is the best way to develop people. It's not just.
Certainly developed you.
Yeah,
After
the thing, that's part of it. And family-wise, you can't do whatever you on the government level. You can have as many initiatives as you want, but you need to have the family backup. Families pay great deal of care and concern for the education of their children. They make so many sacrifices. They sacrifice their livelihood. They sell their lands and so forth just to make sure that there's
and also their time as well to engage in their children's learning and teaching journeys as well. I see it a lot with colleagues that we work with here. But after university, you went to study a Bachelor of Laws in Jordan.
In Jordan, yeah.
What led you to study law?
To be honest with you, I was like in two minds. Whether, first of all, my dad, because he was in the military, he wanted me to take his path, and there's like a military university. I decided against that because military life is not for me. I respect the profession, but it will always have like a cost or its impact on your family. So I always liked language, writing things. So I was in two minds whether to go to study journalism or law. But then I thought, I'll give it a go and study law, and it was really brilliant.
Which university?
Yarmouk University.
Is that in Amman?
No, it's in Erbil.
Okay, and how far away is that from where you grew up?
From my house, it's about 25 kilometers.
Oh, not far.
Not far, no.
So you could commute each day?
Yeah, I had like a very high score in my high school. I could have chosen whichever university I wanted, but one of the factors I wanted to remain with my family, so I chose Yarmouk University.
Yarmouk's one of the newer universities, is it?
I think in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's the second to be established in Jordan. The first was Jordan University, then Yarmouk.
Okay, I didn't realise that. Then after graduating with a Bachelor of Laws, you went to the UK to study a Master of Laws at the University of Bristol.
Yes.
No.
Fun memories there. Yeah, I love
fun memories.
Yeah.
Okay, why did you choose the University of Bristol?
To be honest with you, that was back in 2000. Internet wasn't that common.
Yeah.
And you have to do your application, the written
manually.
You have to. Not just that. You couldn't even download the application form. You need to send them a letter, or send an email to send. So I sent few emails to few universities, and then I received the application, and then I received the offer from the University of Bristol. Because to be honest with you, I've never heard of the city of Bristol before that, because they don't have like a Premier League football team. So the other well-known, London.
They've got the Bristol Rovers, haven't they?
Bristol Rover City, and they have they are, I think, a rugby town more than a football town. Their rugby team is better than, or is it? Okay. I think Bath is better. Not that. But the thing, then I received the offer from them, started reading about the city. They sent me the prospectus, and I read all about it. It was a lovely city. If time goes back, I would again choose. And the university at the time, it had a high ranking.
It still does.
Yeah, still. But I think it was fourth when it comes to law, and 8th, 9th overall. So it was a brilliant university. So it was like the right fit, if you like. So everything.
I know. I understand that it's still very popular and well ranked for finance and economics. I've met a number of graduates from the UK over the last couple of weeks from there.
And they have an annual balloon festival.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to go to see that.
But what were some of the initial life and study challenges?
There.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think one of the main things, mostly when overseas students go to study, they pick like an international program. They study what you call like international commerce, international banking, international business. So you don't get really into the local law, the British law. For me, I studied public law there. So, and I had like 4 different modules. One of them was administrative law, which is pure English law, and then European law, which is the European Union law. That's a different dimension, different type of law. Then the European human rights law, which is different organization, different system. And then environmental law, which was mixed between English internal law and EU law. So that it was very challenging because you're not just studying English law or international law. You just have a mixture, what you call European law, supranational law. Then you go back to study pure English law and how they interact, how they affect each other. So it gave me a good understanding of the English legal system. And sometimes people ask me, like when you come to Jordan, Saudi, Arab countries, they were mostly civil law countries, code or legislation based countries. How is it beneficial? I told them it's a mind blowing how the way they deal with legal issues, how they interpret it, how they address it, how detailed and how very specific, and the argument, the counter arguments, how they present it. With us, it's always like, this is the issue, this is the solution. You just tend to memorize it and remember it. With there, no, you have, this is the solution. Why, this is the legal issue, this is the solution. Why did it come that way? Are there alternative ways? What the socio-economic impact of that issue? So you get a fuller, more general image of how you deal with the legal issue. And that, develops you greatly,
For sure. That along with your undergraduate degree in Jordan, you study in the master's degree in the UK, and plus your work experience in the UK, where I understand that you worked for an educational trust as a lecturer, yes?
Yes.
In law, in the field of law?
It's not strictly law, but you can classify it as law because it was an Islamic school. I taught Arabic language for first year students, and there's something called Usul al-Fiqh, which is like Islamic jurisprudence, how to understand the sources of legislation in Islamic law, how to derive, the rule for specific issues. So we have similar things. We study similar things either in the UK or in Jordan. It's called, in Jordan we call Introduction to the Science of Law. Yes. And in the UK it's called Introduction to the English Legal System. It's similar things, but that is like Islamic or religious canon law. So it was related, and I studied that in Jordan as part of your bachelor degree. You study that at the School of Sharia. So I had that background, and
sure, all the background really contributed to making you extremely in demand in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I know you've lived in Saudi for a long time, and I personally find it to be a great place to live. Friendly, educated, great food and safe. What are some of the things that you and your family like it here? Yes.
We enjoy it because when you come from Jordan, the culture is nearly the same. Food-wise, custom-wise, both conservative countries. It's easy to fit in. We struggle a bit with the weather; it's a bit hot, but we enjoy it very much in the winter because Jordan is very cold. Here winter is like heaven. It's mild and nice. And
so you've worked on a range of projects here and been responsible for contracts and
hundreds of contracts.
Not just in education, but also in oil, gas, and banking.
Because you have to remember, before I came to Tatweer wasn't my first job. I worked for a law firm to start with for over 2 years. So in Tatweer, because you are what you call it, cornered in one field, education, but it's massive with the work we do.
Sure.
Very, very multifaceted, if you like. But with the law firm, we had all sorts of clients, like what you call it, wholesale companies. We had Al Uthaim, we had with gas and oil, as you said, we used to Petromine, and we dealt with those people. If memory serves, it's been about 5-6 years since I left the law firm, but we used to have all sorts from different sectors, and that was very enriching to your experience because you deal with all sorts of things. With Tatweer, I've been working here for almost 5 years now, and sometimes people ask us, like, legal, what are you doing in an educational company? Because it's legal, they need a legal department.
It's huge contracts here, huge and diverse.
Yeah.
And your role and cross-section across with contracts and procurement and guidance to
the investments of the company, we oversee, like their contracts, everything.
Yeah, human resource.
Labor law as well, any issues with the employees and so forth, we deal with.
And future plans? You're open to whatever comes along?
Yeah. I think 5 years is. I'm not going to say too much because 5 years is, I think, even after the third or fourth year, you start to think I need to move, and now it's coming to 5 years. But what kept me going in this company, as it's the scope of the company is so massive, and every day there's a new challenge, a new project which demands learning a new skill, and it kept me going, kept me interested. But I think maybe sometime soon in the future it's going to be time to say, okay,
only time will tell.
Open to a new challenge.
Only time will tell. And if that is the case, I know that you'll be very sorely missed here. But wherever you do end up going, we'll be gaining an invaluable asset.
Thank you very much.
The ability of yours to be able to make an organisation function smoothly is second to none. And I've worked with loads of legal departments and contracting departments.
I think I'll tell you the secret of that, because sometimes legal people they sit, they give you, this is how it's going to be. They don't bother to explain it and simplify it for people who are not legal. I always try to simplify it and just give them, when you're explaining a legal principle or a legal rule, just an example that would touch their life, something they would come across on a daily basis, or they must have come across it. Just simplify it to them, make it relevant. It will stick with them. They will be able to refer to it and to implement it. I think that's the secret to it.
I will remember that. And thank you.